Hey, what's up guys? So in the last video we finished the wave button and now it's time to move on and cut the shape button. I'm gonna ask you one question, so be careful because be careful. How much waveform do you see in here? Okay, one, you have really good eyes, that's cool. But how about now? Well, you're totally wrong. There are two waveforms in here. You have the pointy hat that we know very well now, but there's also a square waveform. And do you only know why it is called a square waveform? Well, wrong again. It is called a square waveform because it looks like a square. So what we need to do is to first code that waveform and then add it to the pointy hat waveform. And to code that waveform, we are going to use two sawtooths. Two sawtooths, and not just any sawtooth. We are going to use a virtual analog sawtooth that we coded in the last video. What am I hearing? You want to know how to generate a square with only two sawtooths? Say no more. More. Okay, if I take the subtraction of this signal with this one, what do I get? Okay, nothing because they are the same. Now, what if I subtract this signal with a shifted phase? And remember that phase is like just a fancy way to say that I'm making my signal start here instead of the beginning, for example. Think about it. And as you can see, we got exactly what we want, a square. And I can even control the pulse width by changing the phase of the subtracted sawtooth. With a huge width, we get a more electronic sound. Okay, we got that nice virtual analog square waveform, but I believe that the Minifreak is doing a little bit more than that. Let's take a closer look. Okay, there is like two steps that seem to appear to me. First, the square width increases then starts to lose weight at 70%. Then it begins to split itself more and more. Okay, let me just check my homeless trick first. Well, I guess that will do the job, right? Let's get a little bit technical here. When the square starts to split itself, it is always in a proportionally way. So each new square will add more and more harmonic to the sound. So let's visualize the period where I draw my square. To simplify, we'll say that my period has always the size of 10 arbitrary units. You can visualize the period as a space-time where I can draw anything I want, including square. Here my square is also 10 units, so I can draw more square in my period. But if I decrease the square width, then now it becomes possible to draw other squares. For example, if my square is like 4 units, therefore I can draw like 2.5 squares in my period. So what I'll say to my code is the following. If the shape button is under 70%, then draw a single square on my period, and if the shape button is above 70%, then draw as much square as you can in my period. Oh, and also make that squares appear smoothly. And finally, that's the way I found to get more or less the same result as the Minifreak. This is not exactly the same result though, but the results are still nice, so whatever. And that's it guys, we did it. Now we have only one button left to code to finish the oscillator 1 of the Minifreak, which is the detuner, but that will be for the next video, so stay tuned guys. Thanks for watching. If you like my content, you can like this video and maybe, I don't know, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Yeah!